Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. Here we are. This great and wonderful opportunity that we have this morning to get our day and our week kicked off, and that is with the best thing possible to mankind, and that is God's Word. This morning, today and tomorrow, there's a couple of points I want to make in a certain text in Luke's Gospel when Jesus is being crucified. And Luke chapter 24, this particular text is probably most commonly known for the thief on the cross and how he was saved by belief only and so on and so forth. I want to talk more about that tomorrow. But for today, I think there's a powerful lesson that we can learn from the other thief as well. And maybe sometimes we look at Jesus just like this other guy did. For example, in Luke chapter 23, all right, and beginning in verse 39, he's on the cross. All right, he says, "Then one of the criminals who were hanged blasphemed him, saying, if you are the Christ, save yourself and us. But the other answering rebuked him, saying, do you not even fear God, seeing you are under the same condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." Very interesting text. And what we find in this particular example, and so many times this is kind of ignored and jumps right over, and we're saved like the thief on the cross. But like I said, we're going to talk more about that tomorrow, Lord willing. But let us consider something here. Is how do we look at Jesus? Do we look at him like this guy does? It's like, okay, get me out of this situation that I've gotten myself into. What's very interesting is that with this particular thief that's hanging with Jesus, he said, if you're the Christ, save yourself. So what he's saying is, all right, now he's not sorry about what he's done. What he's sorry about is hanging on that cross. And what he is wanting is for that to stop. So when he says, if you are the Christ, save yourself and us. So he's wanting Jesus to get him out of the situation that he got himself into, which he's not sorry about. How many times have we done the same thing with Jesus? We've decided to live the gangster life, stealing and whatnot, thug life and the party life, and just running around town, just being an old hound dog and whatnot. And then everything falls apart. My family falls apart because I've been cheating on my wife. I get arrested for stealing or whatever that it is. Right? And then all of a sudden, we find ourselves in this between this rock and a hard place. And a lot of times, I've been going into jail for many years down in Texas and now here in Indiana. And so many times what we find is folks are turning to this jailhouse religion. Okay, if I get Jesus, then he's going to get me out of this situation. And like we try to tell the folks, he doesn't work that way. And here he did not get the guy off the cross, nor did he get himself off the cross. And so Jesus doesn't work like that. When we go out here and we live hog wild and we're doing what we want to do on our terms, and then we get ourselves in financial hardships, family hardships, our actions may wind up costing us our job. We may wind up in jail. A whole host of things. Crying out to Jesus, he's just going to snap his fingers and said, okay, all your problems are gone because you said my name. He didn't do that here. And what's very interesting is what the other thief said in verse 41. He says, we're getting what we're due. But this man has done nothing. Here's this change of attitude, or this differences of attitude. Here's one is, he had no intention, even if he did get off the cross, to stop doing what he did. I think that's implied. The text doesn't say. But by his attitude, I believe that would be consistent. Is that he's not concerned about changing. He's just concerned about getting this inconvenience, so to speak, getting off of this cross. And he probably went right on back to the lifestyle that he was living. The other guy, on the other hand, says, no, I'm dealing with exactly what I deserve because of the choices that I made. This is what and he didn't ask to get out of it. So one thief is asking, get us out of here. The other one is, he didn't ask to get out of here. What he said is, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Now, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But what I want us to focus in on, think about this day, how do I look at Jesus? Do I just simply look at him? I'm going to run out here and I'm going to do everything I want on my terms, okay? And then everything falls apart. I find myself in a pickle, and now I'm going to get religion all of a sudden. And now I'm going to get religious all of a sudden, with really no intent to stop what I'm doing. What we want to stop is the consequences that we're facing, not the life we're living. We don't want that to stop. We want the consequences to the life that we're living to stop. You go over and you read Proverbs chapters 1 and 2 and 3, and he talks about wisdom. And they're about in the middle to three-quarter way through Proverbs chapter 1, the Bible teaches this lesson, is that when you fall into your own trap, there's no one going to be there to help you. Now, it's really paraphrasing what I said, but that's the essence, that's the point of what he was talking about. Wisdom is crying out in the streets. It's crying on the hilltops. It's crying on the mountaintop. It's crying on the street corner, and nobody listens. And then we go and we do what we said, and we say, well, I told you. I can't help you now because you didn't listen to my counsel and to my guidance and my correction and my teaching. Friends, how do we look at Jesus? Do we use him as some get-out-of-jail-free card? Do we use him as some magic charm? Do we use him as some name that we just recite as if everything in this world and I'm facing is just going to poof, go away and me not have to face it? No, I believe the one thief is right. We're getting exactly what we deserve. I believe this man was penitent. I believe he was repentant. And I believe that he was really sorry for what he had done. A little bit too late in his physical life, yes. But he still had to face some consequences, didn't he? Absolutely. And David serves as a great example of that as well. In our Bible with the sin of David and Bathsheba. He had trouble for the rest of his life. And so God forgave him, but there were still consequences to what he had done that followed him through the rest of his life. And so, friend, what I want us to think about this morning is do you look at Jesus like this one thief? Get me out of this physical dilemma that I have that I have created for myself? Is that how we look at Jesus? My friend, if so, you're not going to get any help from him. And how can I say that? Because I can assuredly say, has your life gotten any better since you rattled his name? Probably not. Especially if you're still doing and living the same type of life that you was. Which one of these two thieves are you like? Get me out of this situation, or I'm getting exactly what I deserve? And then he asked, the Lord actually they didn't turn from the physical to the spiritual. And so there's your dose of God's word today. I hope it'll get your wheels turning. I hope it'll get you thinking, and I hope it'll be beneficial to you. So Lord willing, tomorrow we'll get back and we'll get us another dose of God's word. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you then.